Hey, this is Notser, and this is Untitled. This week, I want to discuss the British battleships coming out. I also want to touch on the Key. It's a Tier 8 premium Japanese battleship that will be available at some point in the near future. The NDA is going to drop on that soon. TM. Are you excited to see a Tier 8 premium Japanese battleship in the game? And then finally, there have been a couple games that I've been playing, trying. I tried Dreadnought, I tried Fractured Space, Destiny 2 beta was over the midweek, I think it was, early week for the PC. I had never played Destiny, and I want to give you my thoughts on those games. Also, Rainbow Six Siege, I'm enjoying it, but man, it's got a steep learning curve after all the time. I'm really noobish at the game, so that's just something I have to deal with. But first, let's talk about the British battleships. So, the British battleships came out, people got to play them, the queue was horrendous if you wanted to play a battleship and, oh, you happen to be playing at the same tiers as people were working their way up. Did the missions work out for you? Do you feel like this is a better way to reward players for playing before a launch, and then it gives you a leg up on the competition to get up through? I unfortunately had access to the ships, so whenever I completed the blueprint missions, and this is what I'm talking about, the blueprint missions, you know, kill 5 battleships without using a battleship. Whenever I got those blueprints done, it was great. It was sitting in my inventory, but Wargaming took away all those pre-release ships for the British battleship line, and they took away my tier 3, 4, and 5 that I earned. So I had to talk to Wargaming, and they were pretty kind about it. You know, we know, Notser, you got some weird stuff going on. They eventually gave it to me, and I'm at the Iron Duke. I'm having a good time. The turret traverse is pretty subpar. I don't have a commander that has concealment yet. I am using HE and AP. It was funny. I was playing in a cruiser with a ton of British battleships on both sides, and everyone was spamming HE. Even when they were firing against myself as a cruiser, and I was like, this is great! You can't actually kill me in one shot. It took all the stress away from playing a cruiser, and I really enjoyed myself just being immune to death, at least up front. So that was interesting, and I'm sure the British battleship commanders who stick it out will eventually realize that yes, you actually should be firing AP against enemy cruisers or broadside British battleships. But for 1 or 2 days, the spam of HE was real, extreme spam of HE. So you know, that was just humorous to me. I hope that you guys and girls are enjoying your time with the British battleships, and I hope you're just enjoying the game. I know people are pretty cynical all the time, how passive people play, and I play the game how I want it to be played. I push the tempo, I try my hardest. If I feel like there's a situation where I'm not going to succeed, well, guess what? I don't succeed, and I die. But I would rather die and play the game than sit idly and wait for the game to start, because I, quite frankly, don't have time, or I don't get any joy out of a slow game. This game is honestly on the edge of being too slow. When the meta is bad, it's just too slow. It's just way too slow for me. I would rather watch paint dry than play out a full 20-minute, and at the 15-minute mark, there's only 5 ships dead. That's awful. That's horrible. That's the worst case scenario for me. Absolutely the worst. So, yeah. But the British battleship release has gone pretty smoothly. I'm up to the Queen Elizabeth, or about to get the Queen Elizabeth. So I'm having fun. I'm having fun. Alright. So, the Key. The Key is in our pocket. The Key will be a Tier 8 premium Japanese battleship. And that Tier 8 premium Japanese battleship will be the first for their line, which is honestly shocking. I can't believe it's taken this long to get a Tier 8 premium for the Japanese battleship line. Perhaps they felt like the Atago was just so good that you could use that as a trainer. Whatever the reason is, it's supposed to be, I think it's a prototype or a pre-release of the Amagi class or whatever. It's got some weird quirks in it. I'm sure you've seen that there is potentially torpedoes, and the AA is pretty good compared to the Amagi. So we'll see how that works out. I am actively testing it. I cannot comment on its actual performance just yet. The NDA comes out any day now. And then I'll be able to make a video, share my thoughts. I just thought it was really weird that it took this long for Wargaming to get a premium battleship that was high tier for the Japanese, because we've got the Notser, we've got the Ishizuchi, and we have the Mikasa. Over in the American side, we've got like a premium 5, 6. Do we even have a 7? I don't think we have a 7. But we have an 8 and a 9. And the highest tier Japanese was a tier 6 battleship. The Germans had the Tirpitz, and they had the Tirpitz forever ago. I guess it just lined up to be this situation where, you know, finally we could release one. Maybe they were considering releasing a tier 9 premium. I don't know. We'll have to see in the future if they ever do for the Japanese, but the key will be here soon, and I can't wait to talk about it in more details. So, we've got a couple games that were coming out, and I was testing them. Destiny 2 on the PC played fantastically. I can't believe Bungie. Bungie. Why do you refuse to support the PC? You would make tons of money. Even now, Destiny 2 is set to release in 4 days on the consoles, and then over a month for the PC. The PC beta test was 2 days. That's it. I had no idea what Destiny was because I didn't play it on the PC. There wasn't any PC game, so it was only on consoles, and I heard horror stories of the console release, so I was like, staying the hell away from that. But the controls felt really crisp. I always appreciate that in an FPS game, you know, really responsive, absolutely fantastic. I always love having an FPS that feels really tight to control. Overwatch is the same way for me. They introduced a free-for-all game mode, and I love free-for-all. I love deathmatch. Part of that is because it's second nature to me. Really, it's very straightforward to succeed with deathmatch. And there's not enough deathmatch games out there. They just died off, you know. Quake Champions is coming. It's not fully released yet. But for a long time, there was way too many samey games, way too many modern military shooters, way too many World War II at one point. Now they're dead. I miss that. I wish that they would just make a good product, and the people who are interested in the content would buy it, but stop making the same content over and over and over. The military shooter is way overdone, and yeah, it's really frustrating. I got Rainbow Six Siege finally. I'm enjoying it, but I'm a huge noob. There's a lot of very subtlety built into the game, different characters, different unlocks, so I'm trying to learn it, but man, there's a lot of great players out there. And you die really fast, but I do like that the game works out pretty quickly. So I'm enjoying myself playing different games. I tried Dreadnought, I tried Fractured Space. They just don't have the population. They really don't. They don't have the population to sustain content creation for it. I was looking at streaming. Dreadnought had, I think, a total of 50 people. Yes, 50 people watching. I don't want to do PUBG. I just don't like that style of game. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. Walking around, finding something in a building is not compelling to me. It's just not. I'm sorry. I get that people enjoy it, and I know it creates weird scenarios for people, but it's just not for me. Just like League of Legends is just not for me. I just hate those games. I just don't have any joy out of them. I'm an FPS guy. I could play Counter-Strike Go, although there's a lot more people doing content for that than I could ever do, right? So, yeah, there's a lot of games. I'm really interested in a lot of games. I'm not gonna just do one game. I can't trust the company. Quite honestly, I can't trust one company to not do something that is completely offensive. And that's sad. Warner Brothers apparently is trying to make money off of some dead employee. They had some weird charity where It's DLC that you buy, and only in North America will the DLC go towards the charity. Everywhere else in the world will go directly to Warner Brothers. There's a lot of scumbaggery going on. All I can do is make the content, and hopefully it helps you be a better gamer in World of Warships. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.